In this video, we're going to take a look at a niche on Amazon KDP where you can create and publish books that help kids learn a very important subject, which is maths. And the best part is that you don't even have to be good at maths yourself. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I really do appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to publish books that are really helpful to the people who buy them and have a really huge impact on the development of children? There are some very important skills that every child needs to learn, and one of those skills is maths. I've also shared quite a few videos in the last few months about activity books for kids with a focus on educational content, and that's because of tools that I like to use that help create books around these subjects of maths, and I like sharing these tools with you as well. And that's actually how this whole video has come about, because when I was creating and sharing those videos, I was sharing a lot of information about the math activity workbook niche, and I came across a particular brand that was publishing and selling these exact type of books and are being really successful them. And I really wanted to come back and share a video just on this brand so that you can see what's possible within this kids educational activity book niche, and also how we can take a look at how they have branded their series, how this has contributed to their success, and what else they have done to make their books so popular. So if these kinds of books excite you and you have been wanting to get into the educational activity book niche on Amazon, because it is a big one, then this is the video for you, so just keep watching. First of all, let's have a look at the math activity book niche overall so we can get a feel for the kinds of books that I'm talking about, what books other people are currently publishing, and which books are most popular and why. So all I've done is hopped onto Amazon and done a search for math workbook, and we're just going to take a look through these results and see what we can find. So first, we can see there are quite a few results, over 20,000 results for math workbook. But that is a very general, broad keyword term there. And we have multiplication and division. We have these timed test, multi-digit multiplication, and some of these are self-published books, some are not self-published books, and a lot of the time these kinds of books are going to be aimed at children from kindergarten age and higher. And if you just start taking notice of the bestseller rank, which is displayed down here under each book in the search results, which gives us an idea of the popularity of these books with customers, because these numbers indicate whether they're selling or not and how many they're selling. Just quickly browsing, we can see that all the books on this first results page have fantastic bestseller ranks, which means this niche is popular. This niche is selling with Amazon's customers. And I would just like to point out these two books. These two books are actually from the brand that I am going to look at in detail in this video. So a brand called Humble Math. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. Let's take a look at this brand, Humble Math, and see what books they have published currently. So Humble Math, as we can tell just by the name, is a brand and a series of books that focuses purely on math activity workbooks. They currently have 37 titles, and this is paperback. They do publish their books Kindle version as well, but I'm just going to look at the paperbacks in this video because that's the types of books the majority of us make. So we have 100 days of timed tests, and we can drill these down further to multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, and we've got some decimals, percentages, and fractions. So each book is honed down to a really specific or a one type of math problem. These are not books that are broad and contain all sorts of different math problems or activity problems in them. And I'll quickly mention the branding, which I'm going to go into a bit further into the video, but clearly you can see the strong branding of this series. Every book has the same fonts, the same type of images, the same colors used on the covers of their books, and we even have some down here in different languages. We'll look inside some of these books a little bit further in the video, but for now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's take a look at their figures, because we all want to know how much they could be making from these books so that you can get an idea of the potential of what's possible here. Now, although they do have those 30 plus books published, for the sake of timing in this video, I'm just going to look at their most popular ones, so maybe 6 to 7 of them. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go through the BSRs of each of the books to get an estimate of how many books they could be selling each month. Now, for anyone who is new to Amazon or publishing books on Amazon, a BSR is a bestseller rank, and the bestseller rank basically determines a book's popularity within the Amazon marketplace. So the lower this number, the better. This book currently is ranking 3,200 606 out of all the millions of books that are currently published on Amazon. And the lower that number, the more books that you are selling. So I've gone through the first 6 or 7 books out of this series and looked at their bestseller ranks. I'll pop this up on the screen. To get the bestseller rank, I just head over to a book sales calculator. In this case, I use the TCK Publishing, but there are lots out there. I put in the bestseller rank and it estimates that this book is going to be making around 930 sales per month. The next book that I looked at had a bestseller rank of 7,318. So the calculator estimates that could be selling around 484 books per month. And so I went through the rest of the books and got the bestseller ranks for about 7 of their books. Now, once we have the bestseller rank, we're going to head over to Amazon KDP royalty calculator so we can work out how much royalties they are going to get each time they sell a book. I personally prefer looking at the royalty over the sales price because a royalty is what this publisher is actually getting. It's what they're getting into their bank every month, and I'd rather look at that rather than look at a sales price, which isn't a true indication of what a publisher is going to receive. So all we need to do here is look at some of the features of the book, and they're pretty much all the same. They're all around 108 to 110 pages. The older books, which are some of their most popular, are currently selling for $5.99, which is a very low price. But we basically take these details. It's a black and white paperback book, 8.5 by 11. This one has 108 pages, selling for $5.99. And this will tell us that that book is going to receive 75 cents royalty for each book sold. So again, I went through and did that for all of their books. They're more current books. They do price higher. So some of these books are going to get a higher royalty. But in total, from their top 7 books, they are selling approximately 2,376 books per month, which with all their royalties added up equals $2,565 per month. Now, one thing that I will say, I just quickly mentioned it, that for their top sort of 3 to 4 books, they are priced way too low. I feel like maybe this publisher has not updated their pricing to reflect and take into account the changes that Amazon made to their printing costs a few months ago. You can see that their top selling book is selling 1,000 copies per month, but making just $700 per month, whereas one of their higher priced books is only selling around 200 copies per month, but is making nearly as much as that top selling book that's selling 1,000 copies a month. If they did increase their prices to be in line with their higher priced books and probably where it is more reflective of today's prices, that number one book that's selling 1,000 copies per month could be making over $2,000 per month just from that one book. This is why it's really important to understand that being the cheapest isn't always the best. With customer psychology, cheap usually equates to low quality. So just because your book isn't the cheapest doesn't mean that you are not going to make sales. Customers don't always automatically go for the cheapest, and customers are usually willing to pay higher for something that has a higher perceived quality and a higher perceived value. And with things like educational resources, they will definitely prefer higher quality over the cheapest they can get. And scrolling through the search results like we did earlier, the most popular books are not the cheapest. But that all aside, let's talk about what makes these books successful and what strategies we could use to create a brand similar to this. First of all, the niche. Educational workbooks aren't the easiest to make when you don't have some kind of specialized software or tool. When you're creating a book around an educational subject or topic, it needs to be correct, obviously. If you're not good at maths, then you shouldn't really be creating a workbook with math problems in it. But there are tools and software out there that can make these books for us very quickly and very easily, and we do not need to know the math problems to do it. I mentioned this at the beginning of the video. I've shared quite a few videos in the past about these tools and how you can create books in these hard to create books in niches. They are all linked down in the description box below, and you can create math workbooks around all sorts of different problems like addition, subtraction, learning to tell the time, learning measurements, learning how to count, just to name a few. So choosing this niche and niches similar to this is helpful in itself because not many people are willing to invest in the tools that they need to make these kinds of books, especially at that high level of quality and high level of accuracy that you need them to be. This brand has also focused on this niche for years and has established itself as one of the experts in this niche. If a customer likes one book from this brand, they are most likely going to come back to it for more books. The next thing that we cannot not talk about is the branding. the incredibly strong branding of this series. I mentioned it very quickly earlier in the video, but we can see that you can tell very easily that all of these books are from the same publisher, that they're from the same brand. If we take a look at the sales page of one of these books and we scroll through, we can see that this section, the frequently bought together, is all books from this same series, from this same brand. When we go down to more items to explore, again, it's just showing more books from this publisher and products related to this item, showing these again under this sponsored ad section or this Amazon ad section. Then we get down to the A+ content. A+ content is super important because we can't show the inside of a book anymore using the inside feature. So it's really important to create A+ content to show your customers what they're getting, to show them that this is the book for them, and to basically sell your book to them. And we have this A+ content that shows that, hey, we have all these other books that you might be interested in, and you can easily link to other books that customers might want to buy. So scrolling up this page, the whole listing page is just blue. That blue that is used on the cover is just all you see when you're scrolling through this sales page, as if this is literally the only brand available on Amazon, is what it feels like when you're looking at the sales page. So strong branding, people really underestimate the power of an incredibly strong brand like this. Branding creates this sense of trust, a sense of familiarity to the customer, especially if they have already bought one of these books before. Going back to the search results, there are a handful of brands in this niche. This IXL is one of them. Humble Math is one of them. School Zone Kumon is one of them, where they have multiple educational books, which make it seem like, okay, these are the experts in this niche and in these types of books. Okay, so what else do we have that has contributed to the success of these books? I did do a Google search to see if they are doing any off Amazon promotion to help drive customers to Amazon to buy their books, social media or anything like that. Aside from a website, there isn't anything on social media. Their website is fairly simple. It just links to their books on Amazon. There's no way to sign up to an email list or anything like that. So I don't think this website is sending any customers to Amazon, and it doesn't seem like they're trying to build up any kind of email list that they can promote to either. So that just leaves promotion through Amazon ads. And I can see here that yes, they are using Amazon ads. This is just a search for the brand. We can see an Amazon ad here. There was also the Amazon ad down here in these products related to section. So they are using Amazon ads to promote their books. So just a really simple strategy here of focusing on one type of niche and one type of book and really drilling down as wide as they can into that very specific niche, which is math workbooks for kids, and placing themselves as an expert in this niche. They've created a really strong brand that develops loyalty and trust with Amazon's customers, and then putting the books in front of the right customers using Amazon ads. I hope you have enjoyed this deeper look into this niche and into the Humble Math brand. It's really not that hard if you don't try to reinvent the wheel and just follow these tried and tested strategies from other publishers who are already doing well. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if you are interested in creating educational activity books, there are links to all the tools that you need to create these kinds of books. So hopefully you can find a subject or a topic that you're interested in that you could start publishing books for. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.